They said middleweight bikes were boring. They also said oatmeal couldn't be exciting. But add the right ingredients and suddenly it's got crunch, spice, and way more flavor than anyone could have expected. This is the new CB750 Hornet, and it just might be the perfect real-world motorcycle. And unlike the last bike that your uncle called Peppy, this one actually is. Today I'm chasing down some of California's best canyons on a bike that costs less than your average electric mountain bike setup, but it still hits hard enough to make you grin inside your helmet. Now last year I rode the CB650R, Honda's 4-cylinder little brother, and I absolutely loved its high-revving, eager nature. It was like a caffeinated greyhound, light, precise, and constantly begging to sprint. But the CB750 Hornet, it's got something different, something more visceral. You feel every thump, every surge of torque, and somehow it just feels more alive beneath you. Less polished, some may say, but more human. And that makes it way more usable for most riders. First off, the design. It's clean, tidy, and all business. It doesn't scream for attention, but if you know bikes, you'll give it a nod. The tank is compact, the bars are wide, and the seat low enough for shorter riders, but comfortable enough for the long haul on a commute that's longer than it should be. In fact, Honda has created an entire line of accessories, including optional luggage. Aesthetically, it strikes the balance between aggressive and inviting. The front headlight and cowling look like the bifurcated mouth of the Predator, while the back of the bike looks like it took its cues from racing in a tail section that looks an awful lot like a MotoGP mass damper. While I'm not sure how I feel about the red frame on the white version, the murdered out all black option looks like something John Wick would ride. This 755cc parallel twin is the Goldilocks of motors. It's the same engine used in the new Transalp adventure bike, which means it's already proven itself to be versatile, durable, and surprisingly punchy. 90 horsepower, 75 newton meters of torque, and a 270-degree crank that gives it the personality of a V-twin and the smoothness of a good cup of coffee. It's not going to rip your arms off, but that's not the point. The bike's about accessible, usable power. Enough grunt to escape traffic, enough punch to keep it exciting in the canyons. It revs freely, it pulls cleanly, and the throttle response is sharper than the knife counter at your local REI. And that just might be what I love most about this bike, the motor. It has so much character and charm. It's not like a Rottweiler, it's more like a Border Collie. It's playful, rambunctious, and seemingly never runs out of steam. It accomplishes this magic with balancing weights to quell vibration and a clever unicam head. One camshaft running all 8 valves allows for a more upright head angle, and using the fuel injectors robbed from a CBR 1000RR results in very efficient combustion of air and fuel. And what's more, Honda put in some clever chambers into the exhaust, so you get a really pleasant throaty sound, particularly for a stock pipe. I mean, I see no reason to change it. It has a lightweight chassis, Showa forks, ProLink rear. It's planted but playful. Think of it like a terrier on a leash, agile, alert, and always ready to charge after every corner that comes into sight. When one of the roads we encountered was filled with heaves and bumps, the little Hornet never got unsettled despite my best efforts. Late braking and wide open throttle coming out of corners, the compliant chassis and big piston fork made sure things were always playful and rewarding. When the suspension and the chassis work together this well, you can feel what's happening and when you have grip and when you might be getting close to the limits. This bike is, dare I say it, confidence inspiring. It's forgiving when you mess up and rewarding when you get it right. 99 millimeters of trail set's the perfect balance. It's planted without being dull and playful without being flighty. You're not fighting the bike to do what you want, you're dancing with it. If I have one complaint with the bike, it's actually not with the bike at all. I'm not sure the long-wearing, ultra-durable, stiff carcass Michelin Pilot roads were the right choice. A bike this light isn't going to burn through tires. So I would have preferred something a bit more compliant, a slightly more sporty profile, and a bit more grip. Something like the Bridgestone S22s or Pirelli Rosso 3s would play to this bike's strengths a bit better, I reckon. On fast-flowing roads, I never felt like the middleweight engine was limiting my fun. But when the roads became technical, the sum was greater than the whole. A shorter wheelbase and more aggressive rake and trail numbers than the CB650R means this thing lives for the roads less traveled. 5-inch TFT, quick shifter, going both up and down, not bad for a bike in this class. You can even sync your phone and get turn-by-turn directions on the screen because apparently it's 2025 and who wants to be bothered with folding up paper maps anymore? 5 power modes, a standard sport and rain mode, plus 2 customizable allow you to tweak the fun, including the ability to disable wheelie control. I'm not saying that I did this, but yeah, I did this because the torque of this delightful little motor made floating the front wheel over the crests of small hills just too much temptation for me to resist. At $79.99, it's one of the best bangs for your buck in the game, proving you don't need to drain your savings to ride something sharp, quick, and well put together. And this is where the CB750 shines. City streets, short jaunts, daily use, and if the accessory catalog is to be believed, weekend getaways. The clutch is light, the gearing is friendly, and you won't need a yoga class to ride it. Fuel economy is excellent, and even when pushed, the engine feels composed, not overwhelmed. The seating position tries to strike the perfect do-all balance. It's not quite sporty, and it feels a bit athletic if you're planning to ride it across a few borders. I'm a towering 5'7", so I really appreciated how easy it was to get my feet on the ground. Not only is the seat low, but it's really narrow at the front, making it drama-free to paddle walk a U-turn or back up at the gas pump. Nobody wants to drop a bike, to be sure, but the last thing you want to do is drop a bike in front of a group of journalists and fellow motorcycle YouTubers. It's interesting to note that our lead rider, an exceedingly skilled and talented former racer, opted to ride the smaller CB750 for each day of our testing. That should tell you something all by itself. So what is this bike? It's not a starter bike. It's not a track tool. It's your daily rider. It's a weekend blaster, a long haul ripper wrapped into one. It's the bike that makes you ask, do I really need more than this? And unless your job description includes the phrase grid position, the answer is probably no. The CB750 Hornet is a reminder that motorcycles don't have to be extreme to be extremely good. This isn't budget performance, it's smart performance, and I'd ride it anywhere. I want to thank Honda for generously allowing me to ride the 750 Hornet on these fantastic California back roads and canyons. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Ride on and ride well.